every 10 or 15 years, a film is produced that is so overwhelming, so forceful in its impact, that it becomes deeply embedded in the mind.
Greetings, my friend. This is the brain of TV's Pinky in the Brain. Yes, and my human avatar, Maurice LaMarche.
This is Kenny Lee Lewis from the Steve Miller Band.
Hey everybody, this is Anson Williams, and I'm going to be on Still Toking with...
Hey guys, it's Boston comedian Dave Russo, and you're listening to Still Toking. Do not change that dial. I'm going to punch you in the face. You fuckers. Right in the face.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Toking with. Yeah, you know who I am. Already having button technical difficulties tonight. Oh well. Such is life. I don't care.
Do you want me to push your buttons?
You do that very well. Do that very well. There's that voice in my fucking head again. God damn, those fucking squirrels. So yeah. Anyway, so no, actually, I'm actually excited about tonight's show. I'm excited about every fucking show. Something's wrong with me, huh?
More than we can get into.
Something would be wrong if you didn't, right?
Right. But no, our guest tonight, we met, I want to say a year and a half
2018.
ago.
No, it was more than that.
No, we didn't meet him that long ago.
Yeah.
Rewind the clock. That was my first... I want to say 2 years if we're rounding up.
2 years?
I was never good
2
at
years
that.
ago. 2 years ago. And ladies, I believe he's single. So that sexy voice, voice makes those panties drop.
I'll wait till they see him in person, his face. I mean,
face for radio.
They saw the show head up.
Face for radio.
But anyway, yeah, you all know who I am. So as always with us, the man that brings the flash in himself, Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
And the face matches the voice. Wait till you see him. Happy to be with you. This will be a lot of fun. I always enjoy talking to voiceover actors because it's such a specialized area of our business, and we seem to get the best. And we have one of those with us today. So, Jeff Holman, how you be?
I'd be good. Hey, Mr. Mark, I like that jacket you're wearing.
Thank you.
I do. I like that. It's just very goldy on your breasts.
I am going out after our show to a show business event where I have to look sparkly, and I'm wearing pants today and everything. It's the whole set.
If you're a good boy, Jeff, when you guys are out in Palm Springs, when you wake up the next morning, he might let you wear it.
I'd fucking rock that. Are you kidding me?
So you're in your Sunday best right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes. The problem with glitter underwear is it gets stuck on your balls. That's the problem with it. And it
God, no. The problem with glitter underwear is it gets stuck on your teeth. That's the problem.
Sounds like a fun night.
Okay, then. Well, anyway,
don't fuck up his name.
I'm not going to. Kevin Urban, welcome to the show.
Thank you for getting it right. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, you guys. Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to confirm that for
Do people really mispronounce Urban?
It's the no. So Urban is good. It's the Keith. It's Keith Urban. So,
everybody wants to say Keith.
Yeah.
Start with a K.
Yeah, and it's something that I've dealt with all my life, and I appreciate all the sympathies, because I don't like country music.
Yeah, I was going to say I like you a whole lot better than I like him.
Thank you. That means a lot. But people will mispronounce the Keith my first name all the. It's a great icebreaker, but
Well,
yeah,
I'm sure it just comes out that way because everybody knows that name. So
mhm. Well, he's got a bit more IMDb credits than me, so. But yeah, I'm a voice actor. Just to do the kind of the basic intro. I live in right outside of Springfield, Massachusetts, and I've had the awesome opportunity to work with a lot of different brands like Nintendo, Family Guy, um, AJR, a really cool indie band. So a lot of fascinating credits, all remote.
Right. And folks, if you want to know more about Kevin, not Kevin, just check the
You
show
guys are
notes
good.
up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. All his social links are there, including his website with his demo reels and his long list. That was for the ladies of
Yes.
things that he's accomplished.
Thank you. Good wingman.
well, you know,
Good
have you ever
wingman.
Googled yourself? Have you ever Googled
Sexist
yourself?
pig. Why are you leaving the men out of this?
Once a week.
Yeah, I didn't leave the men
Well,
out.
because you know, when I Googled you, it said, "Did you mean Kevin or Keith?" It actually said that right at the top. Did you
Well,
mean Keith?
That's because your
Like it wanted
Google
to
kind of
correct you.
nerfed.
My
That's your
Google
Google.
didn't do that.
Mine
Yeah,
did.
mine didn't either. I typed
My-
in Kevin Urban voice actor and he popped right up. That picture you saw in the opening, you know, the
Yeah, no,
that
oh yeah, no, the picture popped
super.
up. It said showing Kevin Urban, but underneath it, did you mean Keith?
No, in
Urban.
fact, when I typed
I see. That's who I'm contending with.
Kevin, when I
Right.
typed your name in, Google said to me, "Oh, Kevin Urban voice actor." Like, click, and then all your stuff came up. So
Well, I'm gonna have to have a talk with my Google, apparently.
yeah,
It thinks it knows something about you, I guess.
Oh, what have you been Googling?
I hope not.
I hope not country music.
this is fascinating. So, Kevin, let me ask you a question.
Killing it.
We have talked in the past on this show that of all the different parts of show business, one of the hardest to get into is voice acting. It's almost incestuous how few people are doing so many voices and things. How did you break in? How did you break through that barrier and become a part of the big family?
A lot of it, and this is going to sound bad, was thanks. Well, a lot of it was due to the accessibility that COVID brought. Was I didn't sign on to an agency until which is DDO Artist Agency until 2020, which is when a bunch of these companies started bringing in remote talent because they had to. And a lot of my earlier work was kind of went against the grain in the sense that you're told in voiceover authenticity matters, but then the gigs that where you get hired, you're kind of told to emulate a certain performance that came before. So I did a lot of impressions. I did a lot of sound-alike work. And my first gig through my agency was a sound-alike performance, which is the He-Man through Fox. They needed an impressionist and a lot of voice actors. So I think it's a combination of a lot of things. But my quote unquote sort of gig that put me on like the workable map was literally doing a sound alike for an 80s cartoon.
Which one?
He-Man.
He-Man.
So by the power of Grayskull. So they needed an impressionist, and so then I have since kind of developed a workable, sort of hustle out of being able in this era of AI I can kind of do a lot of different impressions or sound alikes, certain and of certain in-demand vocal archetypes. That's kind of been my niche.
Did you have a pocket full of impressions already there, or did you develop them because you were getting hired?
I had a pocket full of impressions already there. For He-Man, I knew what I was reading for a little bit because they never say specifically what you're reading for, but you can infer from the lines and the dialogue. So if you hear the impression, you can kind of model something pretty quickly. There was no specific He-Man, but there was James Earl Jones.
Right.
Yeah, everyone's got Darth Vader. And so that's a very popular, once again, no one wants you to sound exactly like James, but they want something is pretty close, or it can be worked into it,
I know they do a lot of that on Family Guy using impersonators, and you were on that show.
So I was on the video game. So just quick distinction, but still, the humor is the same.
Right.
They need, something driven by nostalgia, something driven kind of raunchy, kind of irreverent, but all ultimately from a place of love too. So that's kind of what that was. Approaching it from that old school, new school, self-aware, very self-aware.
Well, and your voice is very deep. You've got that very deep baritone type of a voice, which is unique in itself.
Thank
you.
Right.
I remember when we first met you and you spoke, I was like, whoa.
Right.
Because you don't run into too many people with that deep a voice. I mean, were you like not kicked in the balls as a kid enough, or?
I love shocking people. I love shocking people with that. And no, I avoided all that. I let my brothers take care of that for me.
There you go. Okay.
I never had to worry about any of that shit, thankfully. But actually all three of us, because our it's kind of just in the family, because all three of us have the same voice. I was the only one that just loved the sound of his own voice enough. So
that was way too easy.
That was
way too easy.
There is a bit of my dear friend Gary Owens in your voice. Do you remember who Gary Owens was?
He was born in '94. He don't remember anything.
Gary worked until the day before he died.
Okay.
Birdman, that guy.
I'm gonna have to. There's a lot of YouTube. I have to do later on. Jesus Christ.
Gary Owens, just so you'll know, had like 17 radio shows at the same time and was doing cartoon voices in your time for the Cartoon Network. But he was doing cartoon voices back in the 60s. Quaker Oats presents Bewitched. I mean, he was that far
I've probably heard it. I've definitely heard it.
But Gary was working into the 2010s. So that is in your era. And I've never known anyone, a voiceover person, to work that much, that hard, 7 days a week.
And I feel like in the era too, where relationships were key, and studio people know you could get the work done, and your brand was where everyone just kind of knew you. He probably was in demand, and especially if he was doing that many shows, he was probably in demand constantly. Whereas, because of the remote thing now, people are doing it from their home studio, which, wasn't going on 30 years ago.
Never knew anything about that remote. You keep talking about this remote thing. I wonder what that is. Oh, wait. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
It's
I mean,
possible. It's possible.
technology.
One more quick, Gary, because you'll appreciate this, Kevin.
Mm.
He had me on his show once as a guest, and he was
Okay.
simultaneously, we were live all across the country, and he was taping a separate show, and it was a music show, the live one. So he was interviewing me in between songs, and then during the songs, he'd interview me pre-recorded, and he was flipping buttons and pushing back when you had flips and buttons and things,
Yep.
simultaneously doing two shows. And he did this like 7 days a week. I have such enormous respect for voice actors because people think it's easy. It is not an easy job.
No, it's the audition volume that you have to do. And even in, across any timeline, the level of work you have to do that does not pay to lead to work that will pocket you any sort of like significant money. You're putting in a lot of effort, a lot of resources, and a lot of mental bandwidth to something that might, even if you do get it, there's broadcasting, there's so much loopholes that you don't control.
Right.
So the level of audition volume that you gotta be, and people will anyone at the beginning who's green will approach you and be like, what do I have to do to get started? You need to be prepared for that level of work that does not give you any sort of yield, at least at first. And so that's the tricky part. That's such a hard part.
You bring up a bunch of different aspects, but you've done commercials, you've done video games, you've done some cartoon work, you've done pretty much all calibers of voice acting. Is there one specific genre that you prefer over the rest, or are you a work is work type of guy?
Kind of work is work. Anything you can, once you get an agency and you sort of reach, maybe, okay, you've been taking acting classes, because I didn't really develop my career until I started learning like how to actually be an actor, how to read something that's been written for me and actually inject my own experience into it. So that didn't really develop until around, I was an impressionist on YouTube for a while before the voice acting thing, the career really took off. But it's you take the work that you book. Earlier this week, even I took a documentary workshop. How to read for, we were reading just like random documentary History Channel scripts, and like how to keep your articulation clear, how to drop the radio cadence, stuff like that, like ironing out like the potential errors now so that you can hedge your bets in that audition game. So I really want to do documentary work, to sort of answer the question.
No, that's where I was going with it. I mean, with that voice, I could see you being like the next Trojan man. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your voice reminds me of, I'm going to date myself here, because when I was a kid up in Maine, we used to listen to, the radio shows, Fibber McGee and Molly, and, all of those different types of shows, because we had no television up there. It was just radio, and I was loving it. I actually bought tapes of it because I just like to listen to it. You know what I mean? And is that something that you would ever like want to get into and just do half hour your own episodes, just using your voice to tell a story?
So I had done that a little bit. There was I don't do a lot of horror work anymore. Early on in my career, one of the earliest like professional gigs I did was I did some audio short stories for a channel called Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, and it
Okay.
was a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe original short stories, and horror is great because it welcomes, and I think you guys can speak to this maybe a little bit. Horror welcomes creators from I was very kind of, I like to think I had the voice, but I needed the experience. And this guy was like, hey, here's, you know, it was a low amount for the time, but here's some airtime, here's some experience. I want you to do all the voices plus narrate. So it gave me my earliest iTunes credit. And it was just kind of experience, and it gave me kind of like an earlier niche as like a grisly kind of voice that you could maybe hire for your YouTube channel for some small independent trailers. So did you guys ever watch growing up? It was called A Haunting. It was this really cheesy, dramatic show on the Discovery Channel.
I don't
remember
Keep in mind the age of the people you're speaking to. Growing up, for
I'm
any of
trying.
us, there was no Discovery Channel.
Yeah. By the time you were born, I was.
That's fair. Fuck. Okay. Long story short,
I have seen the previews for that show because I watch a lot of Discovery Channel shit.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not. But I don't think I've ever seen it.
So just the narrator has this sinister sounding voice, but it's so over the top and so dramatic. Like, I was like, okay, this is something I can kind of emulate. And people responded very well to some of these stories and these videos that I was doing for independent creators. So horror was surprisingly, because I don't like horror movies. They scared the shit out of me. Yeah. So all of a sudden I'm being called in to read these horrible, horrible sounding things. But, if you read it scary enough, people are going to listen. And so that sort of is how I got at least a comfortable, reading and performing in front of people. But yeah, horror.
Ever had the itch? Have you ever had the itch to be in front of the camera and act?
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. There's too much. I'm too. I don't know. I'd be too aware of everything around me. I wouldn't be able to do the thing which is sound kind of larger than life. I wouldn't be able to really do that on screen without it like being funny or like I don't know. I don't want to do that. I love the voice acting thing though. Excuse me.
Because all the kidding we gave you up front, you're a fine looking man. And with that voice,
thank you.
And the camera likes you. I can see you on the camera and you photograph well. It's like I could see you playing a villain or even a comedy villain.
Really?
There was a wonderful actor named Hans Conried who made a fortune on radio, in cartoons, and in sitcoms, doing everything from Dishonest John on Beanie and Cecil.
He was the Grinch. He was the Grinch in in that sequel as well, and so he did a lot of character work. I know that.
And then for
Boris
years and years.
Karloff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well,
What were you gonna
would
say,
you
Jeff?
would you ever consider like audiobooks? Have you done
Uh,
anything like that, or would you do anything like that?
I've done a lot of short, narration work, and it's good money when it works. I don't do a lot of it though. A lot of it is I love doing the character work, and it's sort of like a weird. This is kind of like a weird thought, but when you're doing the impression, and even like if you have, I know you guys had Maurice LaMarche, and he kind of has expressed something similar at a con. When you're doing the impression, you have more. It's almost like you have more control over the voice because you know the character, the caricature that you're emulating. So like you almost trust that instinct because it's worked before over a lot of training that I've done is as I started booking more of my own like original work was training my kind of your own psychology off that because it's almost impossible not to reference something that's come before. But you as an actor need to be above that. And so I love impressions for me are like a comfort zone that I've sort of made work. And I tell a lot of people, a lot of great character voices start as bad impressions of someone else. So if anyone is a voice actor listening to this, like keep doing your impressions. It can work out when the gig lines up.
You've mentioned these impressions several times now. So who do you impress?
Well, I mean, I like to think I impress a lot of people.
Touche.
I meant that I mean I was making a pun about using the word impress, but
of course,
what are some of the characters or actors you do impressions of? I didn't want that dangling of there, but I couldn't help myself.
No, of course, I respect it. Morgan Freeman is a popular one, and it's just it's he has so much authority, and he has so much. Everyone just wants to listen to Morgan Freeman. Thank you. I take quarters. I take Venmo. But it led for the YouTube channel. It gave comfort to to perform. Whereas because I didn't do like any theater or anything growing up, I loved I did marching band. I did track and field.
That's where the picture came from.
Maybe it was. I mean, they all look the same to me. But doing the impressions was sort of like doing like an acting, or it just gave you the public speaking, the performance confidence.
Right.
See, now, so you said, what'd you play in marching band?
Trombone, low brass. So
I was hoping he had a bone.
I've got something something to give, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to say.
Wasn't going there.
No,
I wasn't going there.
Okay, so the trombone. Okay, interesting.
Even in marching band, so even in that, it was It wasn't the the melody or anything. It was the lower end. It was the bass.
Oh, okay. Now, right. Can you sing? Do you sing?
You don't want to hear me sing.
So that's a no?
That is a no. That is a honest way of saying no.
Because you got a good deep country voice.
Oh yeah.
You can slap him next time you see him. I'll let you. No, but I could see him doing like I could see him doing like what the hell's the word? Forget it.
Yep.
Gone. It just it went.
What I can hear is him doing audiobook versions of adult romantic novels. His
Trojan man.
His
Trojan
tongue
man.
moved in closer to her aspect and just describing what would be I mean, that voice is perfect for that.
I can see him doing, I can see him singing stuff like Shana Na would do, you know, like
Shana.
Boom, boom, boom. Just doing that one repetitive or different. That would be kind of cool. I couldn't remember.
He doesn't have any idea who Shana Na is, I don't think.
No, but you know the style of what I'm talking. I can't remember it right now. Like my brain is just
Shana Na did in the 70s and 80s retro 50s not bebop music, but like Shana Na Na, Shana Na Na Na, get a job. And that's what he's hearing. You doing the get a job.
Yes, exactly. You know,
those old school baritone. Those
right.
Old
well, you're
school.
almost a bass, really. Yes, Nikki Bowser, you're absolutely right.
I'm trying to be.
I think Nikki is falling in love with you.
So how high can you get it? Your voice, that is.
I can't really. I don't know. It depends on how enthusiastic the character needs to be, because I used to work at like a call center, and sometimes I would scare people because they would think they would think that they were talking to like a voice machine, and I'm like, well, I can either be honest or I can use this to my advantage. And so I like to think I can go pretty low. But when I've had a couple drinks, I can get into like a workable speaking range.
It came back to my brain real quick, so I don't forget. Acapella style groups.
Yes.
So where they have different ranges to make the song. I could see you doing something like that. That's sorry, folks. It just came. I had to say it.
There was a wonderful actor named Richard Crenna who got started on radio in the 40s as a boy. And he got cast on a show called Our Miss Brooks. Still, as a teenager, his voice had changed, but his natural speaking voice was deep like yours. But he played the character till almost 1960. And he had a way of pushing his voice up a whole octave up to sound youthful, but his voice was deep like yours. It's very rare. I mean, it's very hard to do that for anyone.
Yeah.
And be convincing.
And be convincing is a key part, I think, of it. There's, and nowadays there's a lot of, we want you to sound authoritative. We want you to sound like you know what you're talking about, but we also need you to be approachable. We need you to, Sam Elliott is a very popular archetype. He sounds authoritative, but he can also elicit sympathy and authenticity when he needs to just be, you trust it. And that's kind of taking that's kind of you see it in movies, right? Like you see
but Sam is a very talented actor who happens to have, like you have, the God-given deep voice of authority.
That true, but he also has drawn on a lot of his previous work and his own life experience. He tells a story of, we view him as the manly man, but he himself was not taught. He doesn't believe that about himself.
I know.
It was something that he sort of is bemused by a little bit, because in growing up in his life, more kind of central Central America, a little Southern America. It was, you worked kind of in a trade. You didn't be an actor. You weren't an actor. You weren't a speaker. That was for the people out in California. And so it's just, I'm always fascinated by that disconnect between what ultimately a person is known for versus like what led them into that performance. It fascinates me.
And it's wonderful, as the oldest person in the room, to hear a younger talent being able to intellectualize his work like this. No, I'm serious. I'm very. I am the oldest person here. I've been in show business 52 years. To hear you speak about your own career and other people's talents so well, that you obviously thought this through. This is not a new thought, any of this to you. I'll give you more applause for that, because I talk to younger performers and I try to have a conversation like this, and I hear crickets, because they don't even have the vocabulary. Never mind, have they ever bothered to think this through the way you have. Perhaps that's why you work so much, because talent isn't enough. You're obviously God-given talent, but what you do with it is so important, and you've done really well. Please give yourself a hug for that, because
man, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Well, so at the beginning of the show, we talked a little bit about how we met you.
Yeah.
So I want to bring that up. We met at Northeast Comic-Con in Boxborough, Mass.
Yes.
Here in New England.
I love it. I love it. Represent.
The reason I'm bringing that up, folks, is for everybody watching or listening or later watching and listening. March 13th, 14th, and 15th, you can meet this gentleman at Northeast Comic-Con. So if you got nothing to do, Boxborough, Massachusetts, head on out, see Kevin. And there's a ton of other amazing people there too, but
the one and only.
I saw you on that show online, but I don't remember what it was. It's okay.
I'm used to that.
So,
I did. I remember doing that, and it was. I'll send it to you later, because I know the show you're talking about. I do remember it. March 13th through the 15th. It's such a fun show. And the New England, this has been, I've only been doing conventions for about 3 years, and the people you meet, and the stories you hear are awesome. And so how, what is your, how did you guys start in this? I don't think I've ever fully.
Well, Jeff and I were sitting on a beach in St. Lucia in
trying to get weed.
2018, right? Was it 2018 or 2017? 2017.
So my roommate works at a so I'm always well stocked. Always well stocked.
Well, we were we were in another country. Out of the country, so we couldn't bring it with us. Long story short, we met a prominent family that had one of the biggest excursions on the island. They liked us, we liked them. They hooked us up. Let's put it that way. So we were sitting there.
Go up over the hill, and he'll take care of you.
Yeah, in this little shack in the fucking woods. But anyway, we were sitting there with our wives, having a few drinks, smoking some weed, and revisiting something that we had started back in the late 80s, which was a t-shirt business based on cannabis. But back then, we advertised in High Time magazine. I mean, we didn't have the internet. So long story short, fast forward, we decided to bring back our merch line, but to sell merch, you have to associate it with something. We both come from writing backgrounds, so started writing a novel. Somebody said it'd be a great comic book. We hired an artist. We pushed out the first comic book in 2018. Then we got into a 2.5-year trademark dispute with AMC and The Walking Dead, which even boosted us further. But that's what kicked us, was starting the comic book.
Right.
And we would go to Gary's show. Gary's show was one of the first shows that we did.
Yeah, I remember sitting at a table. We had our premiere. We had one comic book that we could sell.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
I
don't even think we had a banner. We had nothing.
We had that table banner.
Well, the little.
We had a table banner. But you know, as the years progressed, we pushed out the novel. We pushed out 5 comics from that novel, and the 6th comic from the second novel has just been released. So that's going on tour this year with us.
Nice.
The live acting series, which we did 2 episodes, which is on our YouTube, the animation, and then this show. And that's how we started, you know, and it just kind of catapulted us into, exactly.
Start local. Because start local.
Yeah. Unlike you, Kevin, we have to get our faces out there.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's a crucial part.
It is, you know.
It is a crucial part.
It's very, very crucial for what we're doing. You know what I mean? And you know, we did probably most of the conventions that are in New England.
Oh yeah, for the first 2 years.
For the first couple of years.
Yeah.
But to get outside of that is where things really start to happen.
Yeah. Once we right after COVID left, the following year, we had like 20 shows booked for 2020 and COVID hit and they were all canceled. Yeah. And like Jeff said, the following year, we literally in the month of August were home I think we were home 4 days, but not consecutively. We went from Mass to New Hampshire to Vermont to Maine to Maryland to fucking Georgia to Virginia, back to Connecticut.
On the road.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. We did 6,000 miles of driving in 6 or 8 weeks.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was completely insane. But that's what you kind of have to do to get yourself out there even more. You know, I mean, Jeff and I have to be out there because we're the main characters in all the writing. So it is us.
Yeah.
And even in the animation, we voice act our own characters.
You need to be there.
Right.
You're present, for what you're marketing and telling the story of.
The networking and the marketing. Yeah. I mean, you see us at conventions. I must walk by you
1,000 times.
1,000 times. And it's not because you're near the bathroom.
No, it's it depends on the year. But no, it's a hustle. It's a hustle, and you got to make sure you're not just networking with the people that you're talking with the people who move the needle. And
that's the business of show business.
Right.
Everybody becomes a brand. Right. And you either someone brands you or you have to brand yourself.
Kevin, you would do good in Vermont, I think.
I was just gonna say I think he would do very good. The Sci-Fi Fantasy Horror Expo in Vermont. I think he would do very well there.
Yep.
You know, I will actually drop your name. I've been dropping names for next year because they're already booked for this year. But I'll drop your name to the promoter because we actually know him.
I think I've looked. I mean, I don't know anyone there, but I know of the show. So hell yeah. I mean, Vermont sounds great. But you said beyond New England, though. So like I know there's the big hitters, obviously, like New York Comic-Con. That's obviously not.
No. The problem is we don't do the big show. We did Vermont. I mean, Rhode Island.
Twice.
Now that's one of the big hitters.
Right, but you don't sell shit. People don't go to Rhode Island Comic-Con to go around to the vendors and artists. They go to see the 100 celebrities.
Yes.
And that's where That's where they
Okay,
spend
okay.
their money.
When you have 100 celebrities
Interesting.
at a convention, 70% of those celebrities are not selling anything. We've seen it. We've walked
Interesting.
around. We've walked around to some decent name celebrities. That's how we got them on the show. They were sitting there.
Right.
No lines.
Interesting.
But then you go to, like, you know,
And then they're happy to
Ralph
talk. Okay.
Macchios and that caliber of celebrity, they're freaking lines out the door.
Yeah.
So the smaller shows that have,
We do better at the smaller ones.
yeah,
Always.
five to 10, maybe 15 celebrities. Those are the shows where you get that networking, you get that interaction, you get the income.
Yes. And
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
also an important part of it. You know, money. That's why you're in the, you know, you do it. But so the more like not even mid, but like where the real estate is distributed.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, being a voice actor, even some of your, believe it or not, anime style cons would be very good for you.
Yeah, you know, the anime cons are like Boston Anime Convention. You know, I've only done a few anime projects or anime-esque, so they're some base. And you know, I'm not going to drop names, but my general experience with the more anime-centric shows is they have. So I have one agent. I used to have two. One was they got me some initial contacts, but a lot of what I've done is actually just kind of old school cold calling, email kind of cold calling campaigns. That's the best way to do it.
Yep.
That's how Northeast Comic Con, the first time I did PortCon, Springfield Con, all because I reached out to the person directly.
Yep.
So I feel like these big shows are drawing from the same boutique closed door agencies, the high tier voice actors, and that's the ecosystem. And then there's maybe 3 people a year who are fortunate enough to they break into the big role, and then their name becomes part of that boutique assembly. So yeah, and that's the true competition. We're all or at least for the people who want to do it full time, that's what you're contending with.
Right.
And it's a very you have to be very careful about what you say and what you do, because you can work for 10 years, book the role of a lifetime, and your career can disappear. So you constantly need to be adjusting.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Well, that happens to actors, not all the time, but it does. It happens to actors. They you know, Mark Hamill, I'll drop his name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if it's a well-known,
done afterwards, that's just it. I mean, that's his character.
Right.
You know,
Luke Skywalker.
But I think that goes with every industry, because as a musician, you could write that song that just hits #1, but tomorrow nobody knows who you are. That author that writes that one awesome book, but all the follow-ups were trash.
Well, that's why you got to keep reinventing yourself. You know, you mentioned Mark. Mark got through because of Star Wars. But he also starred on Broadway in The Elephant Man, and he also does 9 million cartoon voices, and happily so. He's very happy working, and he just keeps reinventing himself as he ages, and you know he's not a pretty little boy anymore, and he's a seasoned voice actor, and by the way, a lovely man. I like him quite a bit. But he's a good example of someone who is smart enough to shove his ego in his pants and say, I don't need the ego, I need to work.
Right.
And allowed himself to reinvent himself.
Right. You know, and then you've got the other ones that just do their small little roles. Eric Roberts is a classic example.
Yep.
He is
Yes.
always working, always working.
Yes.
He's over,
Yep.
800, 900 credits,
That's insane to me.
It-
And a
'cause
lot
when
of stuff people
yeah,
go, huh?
yeah, they're like, what? And
So-
it's mind-boggling how much stuff he is actually in.
Mhm.
He's
So
not known
I-
as a character.
Right.
Right.
He doesn't have a character associated with his name.
But sometimes that works in your favor.
It
Because you
works
can
in his
fit in
favor. He loves
anywhere.
it. Yep.
You know.
Yep.
What did he say to us? He usually gets, "Oh, you're Julia's brother."
Yeah.
What's funny
And-
is, if you look at the bigger picture of acting, it works one of two ways. Either you play a type and they hire you to play that type over and over and over and over, and like you're that guy they go to for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you don't have a type at all and you just fit anywhere they need you. You can fit in. And there are people, I know this name won't mean anything to you, like Charles Lane. Charles Lane must have been in 300 or 400.
I'm gonna get one of these. I've gotten Hans.
All right. My friend Barry Livingston, who broke through with Ozzy and Harriet and My Three Sons. Barry is in his 60s. Barry's actually 70. And he makes 5 or 6 films or 7 films a year because he doesn't care about the stardom. He cares about working and allowed himself to grow. He did Broadway and he does voiceovers and he does a little bit of everything. And the man works constantly and he's happy in his life and his career. I'm like, yay.
Right.
And I feel like you work so long and so to achieve that level. Everyone achieves it, hopefully. That level of peace with your work and what you do, what you do. Because we all want to make people laugh, smile, or whatever it might be. That's why we do this.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff and I have always said at the end of the day, you got to love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you love what you're doing, everything else will fall into place when it's supposed to. I'm just a firm believer of that.
I agree.
It's not going to happen overnight unless you're like that person, and that's like 1 in 200 million. So good.
But even those people, even those 1 in 2 million, doesn't mean they're happy.
Right. Well, exactly.
It means they're working or they're making money. But I've been doing this since Nixon was president, and I'm not kidding. And I consider myself to be the luckiest son of a bitch on the planet. I'm still working. All these years later, I am still working. I'm still winning awards.
I love
I'm
that.
Still wanted.
And
Emmy sitting here behind me has siblings. So how lucky am I? Well, because we're born with talent. We recognize we have talent. And then there has to be, it shows in you, burning ambition to get somewhere with the talent and the heart to want to entertain the folks and the intellect to understand it.
I agree.
So you're and I'm not making jokes. You're the whole package. That's why I think you're here, and that's why I think you continue to work.
Thank you.
Right.
I look at things. If not going with God forbid, but if I wasn't here tomorrow, I left something behind, something that people can remember.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, that's what it's all about. It's not about the money. It's not about fame. It's not about, did I do something and leave a piece of me behind that will last forever? And yes.
Right. That people will remember you for.
It is the only way to be immortal.
Yes. Putting, whether it's writing, visual, voiceover, whatever, it will persist long after, and people's interpretations and their experiences with it will endure long after our contribution to it is over.
Right.
But we're so lucky to touch so many lives with what we do. Millions and millions of people. If you add up our 4 careers, tens of millions of people have been touched by what we
great.
do. Hooray for us and hooray for them.
That's awesome. Thinking it is good to have moments where you can have that out of body, and be aware of that.
It's important. It's important. It keeps you centered. It keeps you grounded, and it keeps you motivated to keep doing it. Whether you're making $1 or $1 million, whether it's one person watching a show or 20 million people watching a show or reading a book or seeing your art, whatever it is you do, we're touching folks, and that's just so important.
Yep, I have a piece of artwork that sits on an executive's desk for Hallmark. It'll last a lifetime. That'll always be there. That's special.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, and it's actually in the corner of the frame. It's it's blurred, but you guys met Diana. She's a friend of mine at Northeast Comic Con. We're in the same project together, and just we're in a couple of the same projects, but that's just an art piece of one of her characters, and she is from Massachusetts, and it's just one of those, wow, we were both part of the same thing, and we were much closer than we probably, in proximity than ever, intended. So that it brings people together. It makes relationships tangible. Working, creative, social, whatever it might be. But there's that.
Okay. Apropos of absolutely nothing, while Ben has this beautiful young person being brought into the frame.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi, sweetie.
Hello.
You're
looking prettier than ever.
Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
Hello.
I'm right here. Don't worry about it.
Your hair's in your shirt, baby. Did you just get out of the tubby?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my microphone. Lano's going to finish your show. So, but we are coming up on time. So, Mr. Holman, any last questions for our guest?
Yeah. What do you put on your pizza, man?
Combo. Combo, bro. Bro.
Can you hear?
No, so
Combo all day.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Just like you gotta be skilled in a lot of different genres to succeed, and then
No, have
just
one, yeah.
refine it.
Does that include mushrooms? That's gross.
With
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
No touch. Sit down. You can sit with me for a minute.
And my question is, how do you get that wonderful effect where you are clear in the frame, but everything around you is blurry? How do you do that?
So, because being a voice actor isn't just being a voice actor, it's being a good with, if you go to the visual effects, literally visual effects, virtual background, blur.
Yeah.
You're all set.
Really?
That's how you do it.
Well, it's great because it forces people to look at your handsome face and focus in on what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Right.
With no distractions.
With no distractions.
Cool.
Well, yeah, I thought I was going to get away with no distractions tonight, but
She's honestly
my desk drawers, baby. No.
We were talking earlier about just moments, and this is actually, you guys are going to look back on this at some point and be like, remember the time you joined the podcast? This is going to be awesome.
She has been on a couple of times at the very end.
Yeah, so she knows.
Only because Wednesday night she knows Nono works, but then she knows what time Nono's supposed to stop. At 3 years old, she knows what time I'm supposed to be upstairs.
This will be great
So
blackmail
instinct.
material when she
Stand
hits
there and
puberty.
Scream at me. So,
When she hits
wanna-
puberty, this will be
you wanna
great
say bye,
blackmail
everybody?
material to make her behave.
say bye, everybody.
Bye, sweetie pie. Good to
Bye.
see you, honey. We love you.
He said, "We love you." Say, can you say
Thanks
Mucho?
for the blur, Kevin. I'm loving it.
thank you? Where are you, babe? You want to take her?
Oh, see, it works for you too, Jeff. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll be up in a minute.
Yeah, so it gives
I'd rather
you,
be blurry than gone.
the only problem is like if you move your hand, it blurs, like, so like now I look like a ghost, or
Yeah, and even your microphone kind of comes and goes in blurriness.
Oh
But
shit.
no, it's a great
And,
effect.
and all those people out there are like, oh my God, the acid flashbacks.
That's the whole. Well,
Yeah, no,
I ate one mushroom too many, and here we are.
Right? There you go, Kevin. Play a talking mushroom.
Kevin, before we
Oh,
leave,
nice.
is there a project coming up you'd like the folks out there to know about?
there is, but I'm not allowed to talk about it, which is like the
The
greatest.
good old NDA.
All right. Can you tell us what
fucking-
the genre is without telling us anything else?
Yeah, voice acting.
Really, Jeff?
It did-
How many brain cells did it come up with for you to give me that answer?
high budget independent animation. I can
Wonderful.
probably say that.
There you go.
There we
Very
go.
cool.
So like
Very cool.
I'm really looking forward about this piece whenever it actually comes out is that it actually is recognizably me. So like we were we're all talking about breaking, going beyond your comfort zone. So this is going to be me. And it just kind of pushed me to kind of vocal extremes I'm not used to doing. I'm used to sounding kind of like in control, or the gravitas.
One of
So
my favorite words.
yeah, you that's where the vocabulary comes from. You got to learn what the fuck these words mean.
Yes.
I will say I am extremely impressed, Kevin. 1 hour and 4 minutes in, you actually finally dropped the F-bomb. Even though we went over this before the show that you could swear during the show, but you waited an hour and 4 minutes. I am impressed.
It was on purpose. On
I
purpose.
figured as much.
Yeah, it was part of the
So,
challenge.
And you wanted to make sure your granddaughter was out of frame before he said it.
Oh, don't even go there. All right. So
But I know you guys. I know you guys have time. I know you guys have time, and yep, we all got all.
You
good.
know, we all know that children's brains are like sponges, and we're always told, watch what you say around kids. Well, we were sitting in the living room the other night, and she very creative. So Play-Doh, Legos, blocks, the magnetic sand. She's always building something. And she put something together with her magnets, and it fell, and she went, son of a bitch.
Let's go.
Everybody in the room just went, what? Okay, you can say that at home, but nowhere else. And as we turned, she was like, fuck. Just keep turning. Don't acknowledge. So
don't reward it. Don't enable it. Don't justify it.
Right. So with that, folks, we are over time. So, Kevin, where do you like to interact with your fans and friends on social medias?
You can find and connect with me on KUrbsVO. That's KURBZVO. I do a lot of meme voiceover entertainment, all in funny impressions, anime characters. So you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, all the social medias.
And folks, again, just check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, because it's all right there for you. Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
Yes, sir. Jeffrey Mark, just as it's spelled, or if you're listening and not watching, GeoffreyMark on Facebook, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz on Instagram. And by the way, if you're having fun with us, you can have some more fun if you join in another show that Ben and I do that Jeff sprinkles his love all over, which is GPE, Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella. And those come out every Sunday in time for brunch, where we play Ella Fitzgerald's music, and I tell you insider stories about the song, the recordings, and Miss Ella Fitzgerald. So join us for that. And Mr. Holman, how about you?
Yeah, I keep it simple. Go to stilltoking.com or Toking with the Dead on Facebook. You can Google Jeff. Good luck finding me. Because it's going to say, did you mean Jeffrey?
Jeffrey.
You never know. Never know. I question everything.
So
Amen.
so like Jeff said, stilltoking.com, Still Toking Productions YouTube, Toking with the Dead Facebook.
One more thing I want to throw out there. We will be in Connecticut this coming weekend at the Expo Canna. I'm actually sporting their shirts. Expo. Saturday, Sunday.
I didn't know a pot leaf could stretch that far.
You didn't know what?
I said I didn't know a pot leaf could stretch that far.
Oh, well, yeah, these are great shirts because they're very stretchy. So after I eat, it's not tight.
You should see it on the underwear, how far it stretches.
You know, well, there's no stretching there anymore.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
Are we going to hell?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. We're driving the train. You just got on. You know, we didn't tell you that before the show. We waited till the end.
Yeah. So come to Expo Canada this weekend. You can get, we're debuting the brand new comic, issue number 6. We will have that with us. There it is.
Love it.
So, yeah, we will definitely make sure you check out Kevin at Northeast Comic Con, March 13th, 14th, and 15th. You know, go out, say hi. Tell him you saw him on the show. I don't know. Maybe he'll say good.
Yeah. And if you're ever out on the West Coast, Mr. Mark would love to have you take him out to dinner.
No, Mr. Mark will pay for dinner if he joins me. I'd be very happy to do that. And I will be at the Hollywood Museum on the 19th, celebrating Black History Month. So if you live on the West Coast, you can come find me there.
So with all that, folks, in all seriousness, we want to say thank you to our veterans and first responders for doing what they do so people like us can come up here and do what we do.
Absolutely.
Stay safe. We'll see you next week. Kevin, hang tight till we close up the show, please. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Have a happy.
Bye.
Peace.
Come on.